Hi, I'm Olivia, and today we are doing the self-evaluation for health professions. So to start off, uh, I struggle a lot with thinking about the future, and the whole point of this project is to talk about your future goals and careers and everything. And that's super hard for me because I don't exactly know where I want to go and what I want to do yet. But I guess that's just part of the process. So before coming to college, I struggled with deciding what I wanted to do with my major. It wasn't so much college wise, it was more what did I want to tell the colleges that I wanted to do. Um, and I struggled a lot with the decision between biochemistry and medical technology because I had biochemistry set in my mind, and then I went to this, ironically, a health professions kind of fair, and medical technology was one of them. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that sounds super cool. So I started thinking about that a little bit. Um, and then I had this huge thing because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And Roberts obviously has a medical technology program. And so I couldn't just say, I was going into biochem and then change my mind and go to medtech. Like, I had to go into that major if I wanted that. So I went through this little, like, existential crisis, if you will. And um, basically took a notebook, wrote out a pros and cons list of both the majors. And the biggest thing with biochem was the freedom it gave you. So, not only is the major a much wider, a much more general major, so you could take biochem and do a bunch of different stuff with it, as well as, just go for your bachelor's degree. Or if I want to, I could go for a master's or a PhD, and I can do more with more education. And medical technology offered, especially with Robert's program, it offered a job literally right out of college, and not a lot of people can say that. Um, and so that was super appealing, but also the restriction scared me a lot. So the idea that that's what I would be doing for the rest of my life. Right after college, I would be in the job that pretty much would be the same thing I would be doing forever because you can't really do much um, with a medical technology program other than medical technology in a hospital setting. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit because of um, narrow the narrowness of it. So ultimately, I decided to go for my biochemistry degree, and I still think that was a good choice for me. Even though I am a junior and I am coming to the end of my career, my college career, and I still kind of am still trying to figure out what I'm doing because of that freedom. Uh, I think I would be freaking out a little bit if I was coming up to clinical year in medical technology, which would be my next year. Um, so that's how I got to biochem. And as I'm trying to look towards the next step, um, a big part of this class was looking at different careers and kind of deciding what would be your best fit. And so that means really self evaluating and figuring out what our strength, like what my strengths and weaknesses are. Um, so for the paper and for this presentation, I really kind of looked into that. And definitely for health professions, one of my biggest problems is that I don't really like people. And that may sound very harsh, so let me explain myself. I don't like the idea of dealing and being right on board with patients. Like, I don't want to be directly in front of this patient who's sick or who needs my help, and um, I don't want to be in the front lines, I guess. I don't want to work with patients. I don't want to. Customer service is the worst, and that is not what health professions is. But it's dealing with a lot of people, and I do not want to do that. That being said, although I do not like people and I don't really want to work with people, one of my strengths is people skills. I do not lack people skills. I'm actually really good with working with people. I think I have a very calming presence, and I'm a very good listener, and I have learned over the years, over the course of many different jobs, to just take people's frustrations or anger and just try to listen to them and calm them down. I worked in a, a pizza shop for a long time, and then I worked as a cashier for a while, and at Roberts I actually worked at the box office, so I dealt with a lot of frustrated people. So my people skills, my on the phone, like talking to people on the phone, I'm definitely not lacking there. I feel like that's definitely one of my strengths. As well as, though I don't want to work directly in the presence of people, I am a very good team-oriented person. So I can work really well with people if, working towards a common goal. I can step up and be a leader if that is the position that needs to be filled. I'm very organized, so if someone says, okay, you need to get this project done, I can do that, and I can fill that role and give people tasks to do, as well as step back and have someone be the leader and tell me what to do. I'm not threatened by an authority figure or someone who is going to tell me how to do my job. I work well in a team setting, and I think that is very important. So another one of my weaknesses, I would say, is public speaking. So with that, throughout college and high school, and I'm sure any other student is not a stranger, to public speaking, because you always have presentations, you always have group stuff or individual presentations, and if you aren't used to it by now, then that's just how it is. But there's something about standing in front of people that really freaks me out, and even as a junior in college, I still have not gotten over that. And that could be because of the lack of knowledge on what I'm presenting on, or lack in preparation, which I have done before, and I can admit that. And sometimes there are other presentations that I'm not stressed about at all because I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about. So it just depends on the context, but overall, I'm not a great public speaker, so I definitely need to work on that. But I'm not afraid to public speak. If someone told me, okay, you have to do this presentation, I won't refuse it. I will suck it up and get it done and do it with some kind of grace. So as I said, I'm trying to finish my bachelor's degree, obviously. That's why I'm here. And then the next step is potentially going to grad school. I want the ideal situation that I've kind of put in my mind is going to grad school for microbiology or virology, and potentially getting my master's and or my PhD degree. And then the ultimate goal is to work in a research lab. Again, with the people thing, I want to help people. That's always been a passion of mine. I want to, do what I can to help people. I love helping people. But with not liking people and not being, not wanting to deal with them right personally, it kind of limits my choices a little bit. And research lab, that just sounds like an amazing opportunity for me. I love hands-on work. I've loved lab throughout the years at college, even if I complain about them, but it happens. And if I could use my knowledge and really focus on research with diseases, vaccines, products that people are going to soon be using. I think I could do a really, like, a lot of good with that, and I would love to be able to, you know, go into a lab and work all the time. I think that'd be really cool. Um, I really love microbiology, so I'm hoping I can incorporate that into research and um, maybe figure out, you know, things that cause diseases and cures that can help with those diseases, and just, um, you know, use that somehow. So overall, where I lack the most is my research in what I want to do with my next step. So the biggest thing right now is that with it being my junior year and with this winter break coming up, I really have to focus on looking up, you know, grad programs and figuring out what I want to do for the next step. Um, I've always said that if I'm going to go for further education, I have to do it now. I can't take a gap year because, in all honesty, I probably wouldn't go back if I took a gap year. So I have to figure out if that is what I want to do, because if it is, I'm going to do it right out of college and figure my stuff out and, you know, get my ducks all in a row. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully I can, you know, find a grad program that works for me and pursue what I want to do and help a lot of people in the process. Um, I feel like that is my main goal um, in life, I guess, is to just help as many people as I can, while also, of course, earn the money that I need to have a living, basically. Yeah, so thank you very much. Dr. Roll, I hope you have a wonderful break, and I will see you in the spring.